This goes out to all the guys who like to play basketball in the rain with no clothes on. This is for you. I know Jesus saves. I wish he'd save us from this podcast. I know he looks after you and me, but I wish he'd take us far away from here.
IDM, episode 117. Coming at you live on Friday, April 25th, which also happens to be my birthday. What's up, hey everybody? What's up, Chris Lingonberry? How you?
Happy 39th birthday, Othman.
You bastard, bloody motherfucker guy! I saw you say I'm 39. I was like, dog, come on. I'm not that close to 40. I'm pretty close, but not that it matters. You know, none of this matters. But yeah, the big 3-8 dog. You know what I'm saying? What are you, 37?
Yeah, I thought I was 38 until I wrote that you were 39. And then
Oh, really?
me. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We're getting around that age where it's like, who cares? Why am I even keeping track? You know? But you know what? Life is good, man. I was telling you earlier, I'm very happy with where I am in life for being almost 40, you know? It's not like I'm getting rejected daily from entry level jobs. But no, life is good, man. How are you? You know what? Let's start the show like we always do. How are you? How has fatherhood been this week?
It's been a fun week of fatherhood. Lots of spit ups, lots of late night crying. So it's been fun.
Did you see that video of it's from the draft yesterday? No sports, no politics, but from the NFL draft, the National Football League draft, for those who don't watch. And there was a guy that got drafted. I think his name was like Kelvin Banks Jr. or something like that. Did you see this?
No.
And I got to show it to you, dude.
I live and breathe by the rules of IDM. I don't take in during the week. I don't take in any sports or any politics. I live and die by the sword of the IDM principles.
Yeah, dude. You just found out who Caitlin Clark was through this show, right?
That's right.
Dude, this is so freaking funny. All right, so this guy gets drafted, and I guess his wife or girl, his vagina, she's there with him. They have a kid, which is rare. You don't really see guys get drafted bring their kid and their baby mama to the event. But so the baby mama is next to him, and it's almost like she forgets she's holding a baby who's sleeping in her arms, and she gets so fired up, and the baby is just like, what the fuck is going on? And the baby like pukes all over the place.
Oh man, I gotta see this.
Let me show you. It is so, I feel bad. The baby definitely got a concussion from this. Here, let me show you. It's wild, dude. All right. Here we go. I got my money. All right. Yeah, I'll just show you that one.
Guys who get the best of Kelvin Banks Jr. You have to stop. There were times where some guys would get the best of Kelvin Banks Jr.
Do you see it throw up?
There were times where some guys would get the best of Kelvin Banks. There were times where some guys.
That's the short one. I want to find the long one where he's clearly sleeping. Go ahead. You were saying?
He pulled it. Tracy Morgan at the Knicks game.
Yeah. Dude, just liquid gold everywhere, spilling everywhere.
Poor thing. That was like last Friday, 1 week ago, which again, I apologize. to the non-Patreon subscribing.
So they go off.
Yep.
And I was holding the baby on the show last Friday, and she just started spitting up everywhere. All I really wanted to do was get one quality soundbite of the baby farting into the microphone, but I didn't catch it with the mic.
Yeah, because wasn't the mic by the baby's mouth. Does the baby fart through her mouth?
Sometimes.
Here it is. Pick number 9.
Jay, your thoughts?
Well, I thought these tackles would come off the board quick because there's not a lot of them that you can
Poor
count on
baby
to
was,
come
like,
in and start and play right
sleeping.
away. Last year, the
And everyone
Saints
just
got
starts
Talisi
screaming.
Kuaga to handle one tackle spot. Now,
Anyways, yeah. Well, I bet you also were not expecting the baby to like not cooperate, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, the baby was like,
She was like, fuck this shit. I'm trying to sleep.
this show fucking sucks.
Well, the one factor that I didn't take into account was all these lights being on. So it was either not have the lights on and nobody be able to see me, which would have been fine by my book, but
Yeah.
people would have complained. Or have the lights on and then have her wide awake the entire time about 2 hours past her bedtime.
It is what it is. How's you don't seem as tired as I'm used to seeing you. I will say that.
No, I'm pretty exhausted. I'm just
Really?
trying to keep up appearances for the podcast sake.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, right now on the shirt that I'm wearing, I've got about 4 spit up stains.
Oh no. Yeah, well, you just got to start getting used to that.
Yep.
How was Lyft this week?
It was fine. No crazy stories. But Oathman, how is the job search? It is our IDM podcast reviewers' favorite subject. How is the job search going for you this week?
That's a good question. Well, I feel like we kind of glossed over my birthday a little bit, but that's okay. Nobody cares.
Yeah. All right. So what did you and the family do for your 39th birthday?
Nothing. Fuck you. I'm 38, dude. All right. But no, nothing. I mean, that's the way I want it. Truly, the agoraphobic Oathman. What's the new name? How do we mix Agora and Othello? Agora-thello. That's good. Yeah. Agora-thello. No, I didn't. Well, here's the thing, dude. My daughter's birthday is April 19th. My vagina's birthday is the 15th. So by the time it gets around to the 25th, nobody gives a fuck, dude. They're like, enough of this birthday shit,
Well, isn't that kind of like the way of like the dad's role anyways? Like, even if your birthday was 6 months after theirs, still nobody would give a shit.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like I'm a man. I'm 40, like
39.
Who cares about about birthdays? But I got some nice text messages. Our guy Mike Cook sent me a little cash for some margaritas on him.
Yeah.
My mom definitely hooked me with a little birthday cash, which I was appreciative of because I am, I'm strapped for it these days. But no, it was good, man. Here's the thing, like my vagina, Jessica's always like asking me like, yo, what do you want to do? What do you want for your birthday? And like, I don't know. What do you say when anybody asks you that? When Casper asks you that?
Just leave me alone.
Yeah, just what's up. I just want to be able to use the bathroom without kids and everyone running in there. I would like that just for an hour. No, so what she makes me do is like the one thing I don't want to do, which, is going out and having a nice time. So that's just a joke. I had a fun time with her for her birthday. But, so when she asked me what I want to do, I'm like, what is the one thing she hates doing? What is the one thing she does not want to do? And she gets very scared with horror flicks. So I was like, I want you to watch a scary movie with me, just to like see how committed she is to like making my birthday a enjoyable experience.
Yeah. So your idea was to torture your wife.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of fun to see her get like kind of scared and freaked out at the jump scares and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And dude, I feel like a lot of people don't, and by people I mean women, because women typically don't seem to be into horror flicks, which is fine. Different strokes for different genders, but I feel like she sleeps on it a little bit. If she would just get past that initial like, oh, this is scary. I think you love horror movies too. So
Yeah, I just watched. What did I watch? That one with, because you've told me this for years, but when you finally have kids, you realize you've got so much time to kill while feeding a baby. So much time to feed while killing your baby.
yeah, I've said that for years.
That you've got to just go down these weird rabbit holes of movies and stuff you haven't seen before.
Mhm.
So I finally watched that Hugh Grant horror flick from A24 last week.
Heretic,
yeah. And that was a good fucking movie.
you liked it?
I was a little bit out on A24 for a while because they had a couple of duds in there.
Sometimes they get too weird for their britches, for sure.
Yeah, but this one was like, the idea was like these Mormon girls that are missionaries knock on this dude's door. He lets them in right as like a huge rainstorm starts, and they're in there for 5 minutes, and his power goes out, and he starts asking these really serious, deep philosophical questions about their religion and other religions, and it turns into like it's like a nice setup for your typical like horror movie.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a good, like, unique spin on people being locked in a stranger's house. That typical movie trope. But yeah, that was the most recent horror flick that I watched.
They really did a number on the God and a religion theme, right? It was very philosophical, that movie.
Yeah, it's very in these days to shit all over people's religions. Well, not everybody's religion, but most religions.
Well, we're not going to get into that. No sports, no politics, guys. But yeah, so no, my birthday is fine, whatever.
Wait. So did she agree to the horror flick?
She keeps saying, no, I'm not doing that, but I know she will, because that's the one thing I asked for. So I'm trying to come up with like a horror flick to get her to watch with me. Because the last time I got her to agree to this was we watched Seven, and I mean, that's a great movie, right? Wouldn't you consider that to be a really good movie?
Yeah, especially with like the aspect of the carnal sins. Which carnal sin would you think you're most guilty of? Because I think I have the answer for you.
Sloth.
All right.
Isn't that one?
All right, maybe you're guilty of a couple of them. Envy for sure.
Who am I envious of?
Everybody
No,
with
not.
money. Yeah, you
Who?
love to covet other people's money.
Wait. Are you talking? Because we were talking about Ashton Jaunty before this.
Oh yeah, that's sports. But yeah, we were talking about Ashton Jaunty, who what he was just a first round draft pick in the NFL.
Yeah,
as a running back.
Not yet. He went to the Raiders.
So he's like the richest running back to get a rookie contract or something
like that. Yeah,
made something like $38 million,
something like that.
And you were like, you know what I'm sick and tired of? All these millionaire NFL players making so much damn money. It's not even real.
That's not even how I said it. I just said every time someone gets every year the contracts are more and more ridiculous, and it just tells me all I can think about is how the value of the dollar is going down every year because they're related, Fuck you, dude. Who am I envious of?
All right, first of all, let me give you your birthday gift.
Okay.
This is for you because you said nobody got you anything. So I was thinking about this a couple weeks ago. This is just for you, but you have to leave it here. Otherwise, you'll get it lost and we'll never see it again.
All right.
Because it is show related.
Okay. All right. Okay. It's a stop sign.
Yeah.
I like this. I don't remember asking for one of these, so I feel like there's a bit that it needs a little bit of an explanation to go along with it. Here's the stop sign for everyone What is the bit?
Well, I've thought a lot about how you got in your feels a couple weeks ago on the show on IDM.
Yeah.
You felt like I was breaking your balls a little bit too hard,
Right. Yeah.
even though that's what we do on this show.
No, you were lying to the audience in in efforts to make me look bad, which made me kind of annoyed. But go ahead.
So this is the stop sign, so that anytime you get in your feels, you don't have to say anything else. You just hold up your little sign here, and you can put the brakes on whatever bit you feel like stopping.
Okay. Do you also hold this?
No, it's just for you. I can show you how it works.
Well,
If you'd like.
you definitely need it sometimes too. You get kind of angry about things, and I'm like, dude, I was just joking. Relax. No, but this is great. I love this. Can you stop about the envious thing?
Well, hold up your sign.
Yeah, stop it. This is a great idea, dude.
All right.
I feel like it needs some audio component though.
No
Maybe
no more jokes about you being annoyed with I don't know, whatever you were just annoyed
Is
about.
it because I always talk about how much like money Bob the Builder makes and stuff like that?
That's a part of it.
No, I'm happy for it. Bob the Builder's we always say he's the hardest worker we know. But
Dude, he works extremely hard. He's been extremely smart with his money. And then you repaid him for paying you for a day of you doing nothing on his job site by going on the show and saying, dude, he's kind of like the white guy that shows up to all the different job sites to let people know that there is a white guy in charge.
no, that was just a joke.
I was like, dude, that is like the one day that he probably had to.
Dude, don't try to make it look like I was trying to make him look bad.
Dude, use your sign.
You know what? Stop it. I need you to give it a rest, dude. It's my birthday. Dude, that's the other thing, man. Freaking Jessica has been so mean to me today. And I'm like, yo, it's my freaking birthday. Like, and I hate pulling that card, you know? But it's like, just try. That's all I want for my birthday. Please just try to be nice to me today.
It is a chick move to do that.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
You have to be nice to me. It's my birthday.
I know. But wait, no. I'll let you know when I want to use a stop sign. Okay. My gift. No, but thank you. That's an awesome gift. That's hilarious. Okay, let me just keep this by my side in case I need to use it.
All right, so go on. You were acting like a chick with your wife, telling her.
All right, dude. Are you gonna shit on everything I bring up? Oh my god.
You've got something for
All
this.
right,
now.
you're doing a bit today. All right. What do you want to talk about? That's not going to get me shit.
No, go ahead. All right. So your wife was.
No, when you talk about your girl, I'm like, yeah, dude, that fucking sucks. And then when I do it, you're like, listen to this fucking pussy. I fucking hate you, dude. No, she was just like, you know, when they can be nitpicky a little bit, you know?
Yeah. And
like every single thing, they're like, well, actually, I would have picked green to go. You know what I'm saying? But they can do that in a non-aggressive way, or they can do it in a like you're an idiot kind of way. And she was doing it in a you're an idiot kind of way, like all morning. And I was like, look, there's nothing you're doing that is like super mean, but these things are piling on top of each other, and it's my birthday. Okay. And I had to remind her it's my birthday like 20 times. And then once you say that 20 times, it's like you can't use that. You can't pull that card anymore. Right.
Yeah.
So she was like, okay, I get it. Okay. I get it. It's your birthday. All right. Relax. So anyways, my birthday's going great.
Well, you did get a gift, so you're welcome.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm sure you won't grow to resent it within 2 episodes.
No, I just think you're not being honest about it. You need to get it too, but that's okay. Let's go through some comments real quick.
Yeah. Our girl Alexa says, sup dogs, happy birthday, Othello, looking slim.
All right. I know you don't like that shorts.
Lubomir says it's for the stop signs for whenever Mrs. Oathman wants to get frisky. Back off, woman.
Relax, everyone.
Matt Starcheck, our guy. Happy birthday, Oathman. D-Ted. Happy 40th. Oh,
you bastard guys.
I always thought I was older. I guess not. What's the next wine tour? Oh, that would be nice to bring back.
That would be cool. Yeah, that was probably my best birthday party. We all did a little wine tour. We got pretty hammered.
And also, guys, just so you know, we've got bits planned for this show.
Yes.
Besides just a stop sign.
We will get into BBB in a little bit. For those who don't know, Boucher's bizarre beliefs. I don't want to spoil what the topic will be. No, but you asked about my job search. All right, you know what? Let's fucking get into it, dog. You know what's so sad is if I go to my Gmail right now and I search the word unfortunately, you'll see so many rejection emails. Like rejection email after rejection email. It's just nonstop, dude.
It's so depressing, right?
And oh my God.
You thought
dude.
you were depressed when you were employed.
Life was good, man. And then fucking Allah had to hit me with this fucking hammer of truth. Yeah. So you're familiar with the unfortunately email. It almost reads like a college rejection email. Yeah. You know, like I'm sure you got some. I got some.
Or like a letter that you wrote to the family of your former love of your life, dear unfortunate one.
yeah, exactly.
We will not be accepting the terms of your employment today.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you remember when we were applying to colleges back in high school? As soon as you see like the first line, you pretty much know how the rest of it goes, right? Because if they're very nice and if the first line isn't congratulations, and it says like we appreciate the time and blah, you're like, oh fuck you, god damn it, you don't appreciate shit. So like when I get these emails, I'm like, and dude, here's what's the most annoying part. Sometimes these emails will come from companies that ask me to apply to their positions. So like I'll get an email on Indeed like, hey, your resume seems to be a great fit for this position, blah blah, and then I'll send in the application and then I'll just get a unfortunately blah blah blah. I'm like, what the fuck? Why did you waste my time? You know what I think happens? I think they search my name on Google and then they hear freaking Yehudi News. No, I'm playing. I don't know what's going on.
I don't think that's as prevalent as you think it is.
No, I honestly don't. I'm just joking around.
I think that's like round 3, maybe if you're really an unfortunate one.
Yeah,
they might do a Google search of your name, but I think most employers don't even get that far, or it's not even like, you know, they're looking at your resume.
Yeah.
People are too lazy to Google your name.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I mean, have you ever interviewed other people before?
Yeah.
I did. I used to interview people all the time. But eventually, one of them replaced me on a part-time basis.
Oh no! Oh hell no!
But that was always inevitable. And dude,
on a part-time basis stings so much more.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, why couldn't they just at least ask you if you want to do the part-time basis? Right.
All right, guys. I mean, is there no negotiation period here?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Anyways, you were saying.
I did zero research on candidates and
Yeah.
stuff that I'd be interviewing. It would just be because of equal opportunity stuff. You would have to make sure you ask the same questions to each candidate.
Yeah.
That was like my sole focus. I was like, so can you help give us a female perspective? I would say as I'm staring at a man with a beard.
Well, dude, the other thing is like, all right, so we have one of our dogs, Carlos Niete. You know that guy? He's a nice guy. He hit me up actually like when this first went down. He works at a good company, and he was like, I can hit you with I can send some referrals your way. I was like, yeah. So he sent them my way and I applied and got shut down on all 3. That's okay. I appreciate him trying. But I ended up texting the lady who interviewed me and said she wanted to hire me and then just never talked to me again.
Yeah.
I texted her one last time because now that I'm using ChatGPT a lot more, I've kind of figured out how to you ever type up an email and you're like, oh, this sounds too aggressive, or like it sounds like I'm way too desperate, blah blah blah. I've figured out that if I use ChatGPT the right way, I can craft the perfect text or email that makes it sound like I'm not pressing, I'm not trying to be annoying, just respectfully. So I put together like a quick like 3-second or sentence text, just like, hey, just want to check in one last time. Sure you're busy, blah blah. And she hit me back. She basically said that she apologized for not getting back to me. said that she has a lot going on. She's hasn't even been back to the state. So they had to put things on hold. All right, fine. At least that's an answer. I have interviewed 3 times with another company. I'm waiting for that to hear back from them. And I talked to another company that hit me up, but dude, it's going to be in office. So in Chantilly. So, you know, the dream is over.
You got to get over that.
No, I am.
It's like 10 minutes from your house.
No, I am over it. I've applied. I'm hoping that they hire me, but I'm just saying that's you know, that's the situation I'm in now.
Yeah. No, it's rough, man. I feel for you.
No, I'm not trying to gain sympathy from anybody. I'm just explaining what's going on in my life. God damn it, dude.
No, it's all right.
You know what?
I feel bad for you.
Stop it, dude. Stop it.
All right, let's check in with the dogs.
All right, let's do that. All right. What up, dogs?
It's time for our big time P1 shout outs.
Strongest supporters on the Patreon support our ability to continue to do this show each and every week. We love y'all. Our $8 tier, which gets a shout out on our YouTube apps. Let's give a quick shout out to a literal gay guy. Shout outs to a literal gay guy.
What kind of guy?
Shout outs to Alex, AJ McCown, Alex Davis, Brendan Cooney, Brendan Smith. Shout outs to Brent Wenzel, Brian Altman, Brian Busties. Shout outs to Carlos N, Chris Eller. Shout outs to Danny Loudermilk, David Slat, Don DeMarco. Shout outs to Ernesto Ladon, Craven Moorhead, James M. Shout outs to our girl Jen Montana, Get on My Hype. Shout outs to JP Flame, Kevin Smith, Korean John, Chris Stein. Shout outs to Ladyboy, Ron DeMexico. Shout outs to M_Jizzle, Matt Broderick, Matt Starcheck, and Matt Starcheck. Shout outs to Peter Rosencrantz, Phil J, Reggie, our guy whose artwork you can check out at Instagram.com/Brad Paints This. His name is Brad Paints This. Shout outs to Sean Kibler, William, and our guy Lubomir. You guys can subscribe to IDM for as little as $5 at patreon.com/IDM pod. Love y'all. Thank you for supporting the show. Shout outs to you.
Holla, 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 holla. All right. Oh, snap. One of these. It's been a minute. All right. Here we go.
Gram alert.
I have relationships with women and sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
Our guy, Old Man Dave, formerly known as Dave Sandine, hit me with the $10 gay gram alert. He says, happy birthday, Othello.
Hell yeah.
Love that guy. Thank you so much, Dave. We love you. All right, dude. You want to get into it?
Yeah, we've been putting this off for a while. It's been some time since we've revisited the files of Othman's bizarre beliefs. Boucherab's bizarre beliefs, excuse me.
Yes. And it is time to bring it back.
Dogs. It's Alex Jones, and it's time for our conspiracy connoisseur to take you on a wild ride through the weirdest corners of the internet. Grab that tin foil hat. It's time for Boucherab's bizarre beliefs.
Thank you so much, Alex. I appreciate that. Check him out. If you want to learn about gay frogs and things like that. This week's Boucherab's bizarre beliefs. Now, it might seem obvious to some, but for those who aren't familiar with it, last week was the 30th anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing. An event we've talked about a couple times on this show. Would you say?
Yeah, some might say you're obsessed with it. For all the wrong reasons.
So
I'm just tempting you to reach for that stop sign.
All right, dude. Let's have a normal show. Not everything is but so for the 30th anniversary there was a Netflix documentary that came out. For those who did not see it, do you remember the name? You saw it. You watched it, right?
It's called like Oklahoma City bombing.
Yeah.
The Truth Revealed or something like that on Netflix.
Right. And the truth is that it's just like American Terror. Yeah. Oklahoma City bombing, American Terror. Now, the truth is that I mean, a lot of stuff was just kind of rehashed. Same. Would you say like same sort of information we've always been familiar with?
That's the problem that I have with a lot of these documentaries. It's like an anniversary will come up.
Yeah.
All the networks go, let's get a quick documentary put out on this.
Yeah.
Capitalize on the moment. But I don't know. I did learn some new stuff from this documentary, which is if you can continue the story for me, it's worth me taking the time to revisit it in my mind.
Oh, continue the story like what are the people up to nowadays?
Sure, or just give me a tidbit of information that I've never heard before. And I feel like this did that.
Okay. So this was, I mean, it's pretty, all right. The truth is, Short's right. I am kind of obsessed with this. But the thing about this that I would say it offered, besides what Shorts just said, it also offered like perspective from people who were there, people who were in the building. I didn't know that story about that lady who was trapped, and did you see the pre-Oklahoma City bombing pictures of her?
Yeah, she's kind of a big fat hair.
Yeah, she was about $3. Yeah,
and then she got trapped under the Barney rubble, and then they dug her out. It was kind of weird hearing her talk about it. She said like it was like an out-of-body experience for her because she didn't know if she was alive or dead. But she could hear the rescue team calling out for her name. And she didn't know if she was dreaming or if this was reality. But then eventually one of them reached out and touched her hand, and that's when she knew she was still alive. I thought it was like, wow.
It must have, I mean, I'm not trying to be mean. It must have been hard to pull her out of that Barney rubble. You know what I'm saying? 300 pounds is a lot, dude.
That is not okay.
Under rocks?
Stop that.
Okay.
That is not okay.
I'll stop.
We do not fat shame on IDM.
But dude, she turned her life around. She became like a, Bob the Builder type triathlon runner or something like that. She's now the CEO of the company she was, just a clerk for at the time. So, anyways, they gave her perspective, people's perspective who lost family, all that stuff. The arresting officer, the guy who arrested Tim McVeigh, the one who had to chaperone him to the jail, like it was that those type of first-hand accounts. I'd say for the most part, okay. Here's one new thing that I learned that kind of made me rethink how I feel about the whole thing.
This is the good stuff. This is what I want to hear.
They kind of made it seem like Tim McVeigh was a huge incel, and that's the reason he did it. They were like talking about his school when he was in high school and middle school and what people said about him. And
they painted him as like a huge loner who was like constantly just being ignored by everybody around him in class.
Yeah, a Dylan Klebold type of guy. It said that he was obsessed with guns even when he was a kid. So I started looking at him like a kind of, like trench coat mafia type dude who was just trying to get attention, because that's what they say about all these dudes that do these mass shootings. They're all just dudes that can't get chicks. And that's really what they're upset about. So I was like, fuck, dude, is that really what this is all about? He just couldn't get some punani, and that's why he was so bitter.
He was so mad at his lack of puss.
Yeah.
And he just decided to blow up a bunch of school children.
I was going to say, which is understandable. Not the school children part, but being so mad at the world because he can't get a girl. I understand that.
Good clarification.
Yeah. But the other thing that was news to me was I don't know how I missed this. I guess it's obvious to some people. It wasn't to me. That they like there was such a huge reaction to them finding the quote unquote second bomb, and everyone like ran away from the building, and then they found out that it was just like a dummy bomb in the ATF part of the building. So I didn't know that there was that whole commotion that you know, there was that chapter.
So there were two bombs. There was one real bomb and one fake one.
Yeah, there was the U-Haul truck or the Ryder truck bomb that Tim McVeigh left, and then there's the allegedly, and then when the fire department and all that were looking through the rubble, the Barney rubble, they found another bomb, and then remember they left the lady. She was about to get rescued, and they're like, "Oh, like peace out, we gotta go," and they just like left her there because they found another bomb.
Yeah.
I didn't know that happened. I heard that there was like allegedly a second bomb, but I didn't know I thought it was just like one dude saw it and he was like, "Oh no, never mind, this is fake." I didn't know it was like a whole fucking thing. So I started like looking into that shit. But you found something else interesting that you didn't know about before, right?
Yeah. So I was pretty young when this happened. I think I was like, it happened in what, 94, 95, something like that.
Yeah. So you're 40 now, so that's okay. Yeah, you were about 10.
Yeah, I was about 7 years old at the time.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. I knew about Terry Nichols being Tim McVeigh's accomplice.
Yeah.
I knew about Timothy McVeigh, obviously. I didn't know about this third guy. There was another shooter on the hill, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, his name, he was in Arizona?
Yeah, and to me, it was kind of long to hear that not only was this guy
Michael Fortier,
not only was he also involved with the planning, like he knew it extensively enough to walk the FBI through exactly how they planned the bombing.
Mm-hmm. They were all in the same like platoon back at Fort Benning, Georgia.
Right. And the way that they framed it in the documentary was the investigators needed somebody with insider knowledge to show them exactly how they planned it, basically to corroborate what they already suspected about Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols.
Mm-hmm.
And they knew that this guy, Michael Fortier, was going to get a lighter sentence because of it, as a result, because he was the cooperating witness. And you hear about this in murder trials all the time, where the first one to make a deal with the feds gets the lightest sentence.
Mm-hmm.
But this was such a crime against humanity. Like, this domestic terrorist incident killed like 136 people, including like 20 children who were in the day school part of the building,
right?
Childcare part of the building. That I was like, how can you make a deal with somebody involved with that? And it kind of gave me some tough thoughts, because I realized, like, all right, I guess you have to look at it like the investigators who are going to be prosecuting McVeigh and Terry Nichols and go, look, it's kind of a deal with the devil. Like, yes, this guy was involved, but he was the least amount of involved, and he can give us a bunch of information about it. The other thing was, this guy was a total like anti-government dude, which is what you would think that Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols were, which by all accounts they were. To the point where he tried to say, look, I'm not cooperating with you. And the government came back and they were like, all right, fine. Well, you can spend the rest of your life in prison.
Yeah.
So they hardballed it.
I mean,
but the guy got about, I want to say 10 years in prison, which, considering the severity of the crime, seems insane to me. It's almost like if the U.S. made a deal with Ars al-Qawi to finally trap someone.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into this part though.
Okay.
This is Boucher's bizarre beliefs.
That's right.
We got to come with some bizarre beliefs, right?
Yep.
So as I was saying, the second bomb, didn't know that much about it, started to look into it. do my looking into it, do my due diligence, and all right, there's some weird theories out there. You know what I'm saying? There's some theories about the second bomb. People saying this was a false flag operation, and that the second bomb was just a bomb that didn't detonate, and this was planned by the government. Now that sounds ridiculous. Come on, that's ridiculous. Why would the government do something like this, right? How would the government do something like this? And I'm not even saying I fully believe this. I'm just saying the truth is out there, and this is something that people are throwing around.
You're saying that a part of you believes this.
No, I'm okay. So there's this book, right? There's this book. It's called Aberration in the Heart of the Real. It's by a lady named Wendy S. Painting. Now, here's the description of the book. Presenting startling new biographical details about Timothy McVeigh and exposing stark contradictions and errors contained in previous depictions of the all-American terrorists. All right. Now, why did I bring that book up? Here's why. There is a page from that book that I want to bring to your attention. Here it is. Interesting to note that Timothy McVeigh, this is the description of the page. Timothy McVeigh privately confessed to his first public defenders, who later quit, that he was a federal informant infiltrating militias and that he had informed the feds about the Oklahoma City bombing plot, but they told him to allow it to go ahead.
Interesting. So this take posits essentially that Timothy McVeigh was still working for the feds at the time that the bombing was planned.
Yeah.
And he was basically like a government informant or a spy, like a CI.
Yeah.
Whatever they call
Yeah. And he was infiltrating he was messing around with like some, they said that he was reading the Turner Diaries. He was messing around with like some.
Now, what are the Turner Diaries?
It's like a super like alt-right, like white supremacist like type book that
it's bad stuff.
They took our guns, those type of people. So let me just read a quick passage from the page that talks about this. On April 21st, McVeigh was taken from Perry to nearby Tinker Air Force Base for further questioning and arraignment. And once there,
can I just say,
yeah,
Tinker Air Force Base,
yeah,
kind of a gay name.
Yeah, come on, guys, you can come up with something better than that. Once there, was charged as the primary and thus far only suspect in the bombing. He was appointed 2 public defenders. That's the other thing, dude. They arrest this dude an hour after the Oklahoma City bombing. He's driving with a car with no license plate. Bro, if you're trying to get away, you're the bad guy. How is that like something you just fuck up?
Okay, but this is an important caveat. He was arrested for an unrelated crime.
Yeah.
They didn't know who the suspects were at this point that he was arrested. But yes, you're right. It was like an hour after the bombing itself.
Yeah.
And he was holed up in some local jail cell for basically like obstruction of justice and maybe like a gun charge or something.
Yeah.
It seems to me almost like they were arresting anybody that they could in the area.
Right.
To buy themselves time to find out more information about who their suspect was.
Yeah. I guess what I'm saying is if you do some crazy shit and you're trying to get away, you're not going to be driving in a car on the highway with no license plate. But anyways, he was appointed 2 public defenders, John Coyle and Susan Otto, to whom, unknown to the public, but documented within the Jones collection, McVeigh made a very strange confession. He told Coyle and Otto that while in the National Guard, which he had joined after leaving active duty Army service, he had been recruited to work undercover as part of a domestic security operation. McVeigh said his mission was to infiltrate and report on neo-Nazis and other domestic terrorism threats. McVeigh then said that after having discovered the bombing plot, he reported it to his handlers, but was instructed to continue in his role, remain embedded within the conspiracy, and even go so far as to participate in the bombing. but ensured that only a couple of windows were blown out of the Murrah building. McVeigh expressed his shock that the rider could have caused as much damage as it did, and wondered out loud if someone may have switched the truck at the last minute without his knowledge. Well, within the weeks, so that's basically it.
Wow.
So, not saying that's what happened. Not saying I'm just saying the truth is out there, and that's pretty wild.
It's pretty wild if it's true. Now, just a devil's advocate, B. It reads a lot like something that somebody on death row, facing potentially not only life in prison but also the death penalty, might concoct and tell his lawyers to let the public know, to get some sort of alternative press out there on his side.
Yeah, that's true.
And this is a type of conspiracy that, regardless of what happens to him, now we know he ended up being put to death by the state in 2001, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
It's the type of thing that could be like a little seedling or sapling for an ongoing conspiracy for decades to come.
Okay, well, how about this? Years before Oklahoma City bombing, Tim McVeigh told his mom and sister he'd been recruited into a covert group of military consultants assisting domestic and international police and black ops in a private call. In a private call, his sister claimed to have given the FBI proof of this, which she feared they destroyed.
All right, so this says years before the Oklahoma City bombing, he told this to his sister and mom.
Yes. Now, here is Wendy Painting, the lady who wrote that book that we just read an excerpt from, in a Noble Lie discussing transcripts of FBI wiretap phone calls by McVeigh's mom and sister, where they expressed confusion about the media narrative that he dropped out of Special Forces school since they both thought he was doing covert domestic missions. All right, this is just a 30-second clip.
Okay.
Let's play this joint right quick. Ringing. All right. Let's see how this, let me turn down the. Let's see how it sounds. All right.
After the bombing, the FBI had put wiretaps on the McVeigh family's phone after the bombing. And so I'm reading this conversation back and forth between his mother and his sister. There's actually a few of these conversations where they say, "We don't understand why the FBI won't listen to us and why the media is reporting that Timothy McVeigh washed out or dropped out of Special Forces. They're saying, no, we were told that he was still active in the military and that he was working on these covert missions." The FBI had put...
Okay. I'm just going to take what she's saying at face value because I believe everybody is telling me the truth at all times. If that's the case, holy shit.
Yeah, dude. It's pretty wild.
I mean, then that insinuates that the U.S. government essentially was allegedly high government. If you're out there listening, I'm just throwing out theories here. I don't actually believe this. Don't come after me.
Yeah.
I'm also special ops. That means the government would have been behind the bombing and did maybe possibly even replace the lighter bomb that Timothy McVeigh thought was going to be in the Ryder truck with a bigger bomb that basically blow half the building up.
Yeah.
And murder adults and children, which would put the government in the line of, say, the type of entity that could possibly maybe orchestrate an even bigger bombing a few years later.
Yeah. Now, this is another quick excerpt I want to read. He played along and returned. He became suicidal and in a near nervous breakdown confided the entire ordeal to his grandfather. Soon after, he decided to, quote unquote, hit the road, go on the run, and keep my path cool in case someone is looking to shut someone up who knows too much. He acknowledged that because of the drastic change in his personality after leaving the army, the entire family now believed he was mentally disturbed, but assured her this was an act, all quote unquote part of the game. He asked her to keep what he disclosed to herself and warned that if she betrayed his confidence, his life could be in danger. He apologized if what he told her had effed up her life, but said that he had an urgent need for someone in the family to understand him and needed someone to know in case he's found floating in a river. Even if McVeigh made up the story, his mother and sister seemed to believe it, as evidenced by FBI recordings to their conversations obtained through bugs hidden in a motel room furniture furnished by the FBI for their protection shortly after McVeigh's arrest. So it's interesting. It's like if they're being wiretapped, these are conversations that they're having, assuming that they're having in private. So, and the thing about the relatives of these parents is like, or of these killers, is most of the time they're like, yeah, that shit was pretty fucked up. Like, I'm sorry my son did this shit. Like Jeffrey Dahmer's dad, he's like, yeah, guys, my bad.
Yeah, I should have helped him dissect dead animals from the side of the road.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I should have maybe called somebody about that. So I mean, these relatives may be different, but I feel like it's unusual for a family to be like, wait a second, like, especially after killing 168 people.
But you can also see too how a family that's in denial about who their son was would also kind of come off the same way.
For sure. Yeah. So there's that too. Again, neither you or I are saying this is what happened. Just say,
All right. Our dog Lubomir says he was actually executed the day we shipped off to boot camp. Oh, thank you for your service. Watched it on TV before the bus took us away. Now, Uthman, this is Boucher's Bizarre Beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know if that comment right there, that Lubomir watched it on TV, Timothy McVeigh's execution, before he got shipped off to boot camp, does that possibly lead you down another potential rabbit hole of this bizarre belief that you've surrounded around Timothy McVeigh?
What are you alluding to? That they were trying to program them by having them watch it?
Well, I'm saying Lubomir claims that he watched Timothy McVeigh die on national television.
Yeah.
Is it possible that Timothy McVeigh didn't die?
Oh, I mean, that's another theory that's out there. That I forget the guy's name, but there's a guy in the FBI who looks exactly like him, and so people are saying this is the guy who played Timothy McVeigh. And they do the bit where they will circle part of his nose that matches part of Tim McVeigh's nose, and then they'll circle a birthmark and then the birthmark on the dude. So
it's like Epstein's ear.
Yeah.
When they wheeled his body out on the gurney from the prison in Chicago, a lot of people seem to notice that Epstein magically had a different sized ear.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, or the angle of the nose is different. Yeah. That's a little far. I feel like it would be hard to hide a living, breathing Tim McVeigh for 10 years. What would he do? Where would he go?
Well, if he's in witness protection,
but he was super recognizable
at the time. But say he just laid low for a couple of years in a cabin in the woods, a la your other
grows his hair out instead of the flat top.
Yeah, a la your other favorite, Ted Kaczynski. Enough time could go by where he could almost slip right back into society without anybody noticing. I mean, he's a pretty generic looking white guy.
Yeah, he was.
Can you pull up a photo of Timothy McVeigh?
Yeah, I've got a folder of him. I'm just joking.
Because enough time has passed, and if people aren't up on the latest of the Oklahoma City bombing news, maybe they've forgotten exactly what he looks like. But yeah, he is a fairly generic looking white dude.
Yeah. Let's see. Dude, that part where they are bringing him out of the courtroom is so insane. Do you know what I'm talking about? So the
part in the documentary.
Yeah. So he was in jail for this minor offense, and no, not.
I wouldn't call the bombing a minor offense.
He was in.
Oh, that stop sign. That's a stop sign moment right there. That is not okay. You cannot say that.
No, the minor offense was like a traffic related incident. And they found out that he was there in the jail like right before he was about to I guess go to trial for that.
Right.
And they're like, holy shit, oh, hold on, that's Tim McVeigh. And then they had to take him out of the courtroom and
but there were like thousands of people gathered outside the courtroom at that point.
And
somehow the word had gotten out that they may have the suspect holed up inside this local jail.
Yeah.
So people flooded the courtroom steps just trying to get a glimpse of this monster, or as you would put it, supposed monster.
Fuck off, dude. Isn't you know what's interesting is like there's no internet back then, and that like it seemed like there were like 300 people there. It's crazy how like
Well, I think people depended heavily on local news.
Yeah.
So they were probably glued to their TV just watching the coverage of the bombing because it was a pretty significant, definitely not a minor offense, pretty significant ordeal. So I'm sure the local news broke the story that they could have the OKC bombing suspect right there in their town.
Right. But I'm trying to find it. Anyways, it was pretty intense when they walk him out and like everyone's like, "Bell, you fucking suck," and he's just like stone cold, not looking at anybody. I don't know. It felt like a movie watching that. It was pretty fucking nuts.
Now, it's been a while since we've had such a riveting rendition of Boucher's Bizarre Beliefs like this one. Remind me if this is out of play here for this segment, but could you maybe give people an indication of which direction you're leaning in, one way or the other? I think they'd like to know.
Did
Timothy McVeigh in fact pull off the Oklahoma City bombing? Othman Boucher, what say you?
They threw him under the bus and made him take the rap for it.
Is that your definitive statement?
No. No. Here, can we just watch this real quick before I get my answer? Because I actually have to think about it a little bit. All right. Here is him walking out. Let's hear. I hope they have the audio of people screaming at him. Dude, the other interesting thing is they had like, did you see the kids in the audience who had like posters that were the posters literally said like, "Let him burn," or shit like that, like hardcore, like kill this man signs, like held by 7-year-olds. Like, holy shit, dude! The 90s were wild.
They were definitely different times back then.
All right.
Now, I did want to add too, when he found out that there were all these people waiting outside as he was going to be taken from one jail to a prison, he did ask for like armored protection, like a
bulletproof vest.
And I believe the cop at the time said, "No, fuck no, I'm not giving you a bulletproof vest."
Oh yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah,
it's like they were trying to do whatever they could to keep him alive, but were they really?
Yeah. Interesting point. Where did they, or did they want to get rid of a witness? No, the truth is, dude, if I have to choose one way or the other, I don't believe it was a false flag operation. Or maybe it was.
It's a good thing you don't have like, I don't know, some sort of government clearance or anything. It'd be unfortunate if they found out footage of you saying this on the podcast.
All right. That's Boucher's Bizarre Beliefs.
Great episode, dude. Great rendition of the BBB.
Thank you for participating in it, dude. I like it better when you have your your take on things that are bizarre beliefs. All right, we got our wrap up free show, but we got a couple of these to get to, man. Oh shit, it's a good day. Happy birthday to
Gaygram alert.
I have relationships with women and sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
Gaygram
our
alert.
dog.
I have relationships
I hit
with women
repeat, sorry.
and sex with men.
Can you
And I
read
got
it for me?
news for you. That means you're gay.
Our guy Spider Clamp with a $20 Gaygram alert says, "Hope you're having some margaritas on your birthday, brother. You guys have been killing it with your latest episodes." Oh,
Hell yeah.
thank you, man.
Thanks, Spider.
Appreciate that,
Good
bro.
dude. And of course, our girl Jen Montana with $10 Gaygram. She says, "Happy birthday." Thank you, Jen. Love you, Spider Clam, Dave, Cindy, all the dogs in here. And let's just read a couple comments. Oh, Lubomir responded. He said, didn't say I watched him die, but the news was kind of live streaming as it was happening, and they announced when he had expired. Yeah.
Sounds like Lubomir's got some questions about the actual story.
All right. We got to, of course, we got to give a shout out to our guy, our dog, Money Mike from Money Mike's Mama.
In Northern Virginia, where the sun always shines, Money Mike, he fixes any kind of pipeline.
Guys, next time you're doing home renovations and maybe you're scoping out the project of a brand new bathroom or a brand new kitchen, you're going to need a plumber. And I promise you, you're not going to find a better plumber in the Northern Virginia area than our guy, Mike Cook. Mike has owned and operated this small business all over Northern Virginia for the past 20 plus years. The man is licensed and insured, tried and battle tested in this area. He's seen everything that could go wrong in somebody's home, in their piping. Mike Cook has seen it. He's dealt with it. I watched this man carve out a bathroom from 100-year-old apartment and replace that plumbing flawlessly. I've seen it with my own two eyes. You won't find yourself a better plumber in the area than our guy, Mike Cook. He does commercial and residential jobs. Again, no job is too large or too small. So next time you need a plumber, give Mike Cook a call at 703-501-1926. And if you mention IDM, this podcast, he'll hook you with a 10% discount. In fact, you don't even have to put your money where your mouth is just yet. You can call Mike Cook up at 703-501-1926 and say, "Hey, Mike, I've got a problem at my house. I need you to come and take a look at it." He'll show up to your doorstep and give you a free estimate before he starts any work. I don't know any big plumbing companies out there in the area that will do that, that will make that commitment to you right here, right now, like Mike Cook will. You don't just have to take our word for it. Take the countless IDM listeners who have given Mike Cook a call themselves and have stood by the work that he's done in their homes. So next time you need a plumber, just give Mike Cook a call at 703-501-1926. That's 703. Write this down. 703-501-1926. You will not be disappointed. I promise you that. We'll see you guys over on the Patreon.
Hang on one sec. I just want to say, Money Mike is about to have a new silly website, by the way, that I've been working on.
Oh.
But we also have one of these we got to get to before we hop on to the straight Treon. I got one in before the end of the show. Gaygram alert. All right, here it is. Our guy, Raw Mexico, you read this, Shorts.
Gaygram alert. Gaygram alert. I have sex with men in relationships with women.
And I got news for you. That means the gay.
Our guy, Ron Mexico, with the 1999 Gaygram alert says, if Kanye thinks the same thing about the bombing, then him and Othello will have Hitler and Tim McVeigh support in common.
All right, hang on.
Happy birthday, O.
All right, you know what?
You told me to read it.
I didn't read that last part. You know what, Ron Mexico?
Stop.
Stop
We'll see you guys on the Patreon in 2 shakes.
Peace.